11. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat.
We missed you in the Japa Marathon, Prabhu.
What to do, Mataji? So much of work at the temple and lots of guests at home. So Mataji is stuck, I'm stuck. So I went to the temple and by the time I finished everything, it was almost like 2:33. Then I thought, no point in coming. So that's what happened.
It was organized very well, Prabhu.
Yeah, good. So if you all have a good time chanting, that's the greatest thing.
But we were missing you.
Many new devotees had come, Prabhu, especially Radharani Mataji's hostel people and Ashwatnarayan Prabhu's members.
Great.
Even though they did less rounds, but still at least
That's okay.
Yeah, I think gradually they will come.
So we need to have more and more continuous engagement. Otherwise, people keep drifting. So we have to do that.
And also, Prabhu, morning, we on Ekadasi's, especially morning group, we are all actually chanting from 4 to 6 every Ekadasi. So there also around 15 to 17 devotees log in at 4 o'clock.
Fantastic.
So very nice, actually. Very inspiring that all of them.
That's how we have to make it. Otherwise, what else is there?
Prabhu, our recording is going on, so you can continue. Yeah. I made you host.
Yeah, before we become ghost, let's become host. Okay, 6:04, shall we give another 2 minutes or we'll start with prayers? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Namah Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanyaya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Krishna Varnam Vishakrishnam Sangapangostra Parsadam Yagnai Sankirtana Praye Rejantihi Sumedasaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all to today's class on Ratha Yatra Pastimes. We will continue where we left. Okay, so we left in where? 26 we did, no?
28 we should do, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm the same Radharani, that's correct. Although we are both same, I might start. Okay, correct. So 28. Okay, let's say 28.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 13, verse number 128. Ihan lokaranya hati goda ratadvani, taha pushparanya, bringa pika nadasuni. Translation: in Kurukshetra, there are crowds of people, elephants and horses, and also the rattling of chariots. But in Vrindavana, there are flower gardens, and the humming of the bees and chirping of the birds can be heard. Hare Krishna.
So Radharani is giving, so Mahaprabhu is giving the mood. Okay, 129.
Hare Krishna, text 13.129. Ihan Rajavesha Sange Sabha Kshatriya Gana Tahan Gopavesha Sange Murali Vadana. Here at Kurukshetra, you are dressed like a royal prince, accompanied by great warriors. But in Vrindavana, you appear just like an ordinary cowherd boy, accompanied only by a beautiful flute. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So they're giving comparison. The moods, they're trying to give comparison. The reason of being comparison is to tell, hey, that is better when you come over. Kinds. Okay, 130.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text 130. Vraje tomara sange ye sukha asvadana se ye sukha samudrera iha nahi ekakana. Translation: here there is not even a drop of the ocean of transcendental happiness that I enjoyed with you in Vrindavana. Hare Krishna.
Who's telling to whom now?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna is telling to Radharani.
No, Radharani is telling.
Radharani is telling.
Okay, 131.
Hare Krishna. Text 131. Amalana pana lila kara. Punaha lila.
Punaha means again and again.
Again and again. Amalana punaha lila karaha vrindavane tabe amara mano varchya. Vancha. Okay. Ara elkonde. Vancha hai te purani. Therefore, I request you to come to Vrindavana and enjoy pastimes with me. If you do so, my ambition will be fulfilled.
In you say no vancha kalpataru vyasta. So that means you're offering your prayers.
Yes,
Mind like that.
again and again.
Therefore, I request you to come to Vrindavan and enjoy pastimes. You do so, my ambition will be fulfilled. Okay, 132.
132. Bhagavate ache yeche radhika vachana purve taha sutra madhye kariyachi varnana. Translation: I have already described in brief Srimati Radharani's statement from Srimad Bhagavat. Thank you.
Okay. 133.
Hare Krishna. Text 133. Seyi Bhava Vesha Prabhu Pade Ara Sloka Seyi Sabha Slokera Artha Nahi Buje Loka. In that ecstatic mood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited many other verses, but people in general could not understand their meaning. Hare Krishna.
Because it was a confidential exchange of love, the choice of words and things like that will be without being denoted to another person. So there won't be any names, there won't be anything. It will be very generic. So why this was there? Because Krishna and Radha, Krishna and Gopis, they met in as a private affairs. The people didn't know, right? So Krishna messaging the Gopis or Srimati Radharani, it will be in such a cryptic manner that others won't understand, and only they will understand. So when these verses are now spoken in public also, still even scholarly people cannot understand. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that, in an esoteric mode, he is now expressing those kind of statements. So in that ecstatic mode, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cited many other verses, but people in general could not understand the meaning. Okay, read 133.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Text 134. Swarupa Goswami
33, we didn't read Mataji. Did you read?
33. Prabhu. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Mataji read 33. Prabhu.
Oh, okay, then read 34.
Swarupa Gosani Jani Naka He Artha Tara Sri Rupa Gosani Kaila Se Artha Prachara. Translation. The meaning of those verses was known to Swarupa Damodara Goswami, but he did not reveal it. However, Sri Rupa Goswami has broadcast the meaning.
So how does Rupa Goswami know? He was not there. He was not a gopi.
He was a Manjari.
It's Manjari, but Manjari is may or may not know. But how did he know?
Maybe through Swarup Damodar.
So that's Rupa Siksha. Vashesh Magita Ghat, right? So there Mahaprabhu empowers him. When he empowers him, he gives him what is Radha Krishna love. Okay. Apart from giving what is Radha Krishna love, he also empowers him with those confidential information. That's how he knows. You'll see more of this from Rupa Goswami in the Antilila. Okay, 135.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, text 135. Swarupa Sangeyara Artha Kare Asvadana Rutya Madhya Si Shloka Karena Pantana
Pathana.
Karena Patana.
Hmm.
While dancing, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu began to recite the following verse, which he tasted in the association of Swarupa Damodara Goswami. Hare Krishna.
So now what will happen? Collection of these verses, there are lots more. Collection of many of these such verses is what Mahaprabhu relishes in Gambhira. That is the later pastimes, right? The last stages of his, where he, was in a very confined mode in Gambhira. He experienced those pastimes. Okay, 136.
136 and Ahuchate Nalinanabha Padaravindam Yogaishwara Hrudi Vichintamagada Bodhaihi Samsara Kupa Patitottara Anavalambam Geham Jushamapi Manashudi Diyat Sadanaha.
The gopis thus spoke.
The gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower. Your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers, who wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts. Although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. But this is quotation of Srimad Bhagavatam 10.82.48. The gopis were never interested in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. They were simply interested in Bhakti Yoga. Unless they were forced, they never liked to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Rather, they performed to take the lotus feet of the Lord and place them on their breast. Sometimes they regretted that their breasts were so hard, fearing that Krishna might not be very pleased to keep his soft lotus feet up there. When those lotus feet were pricked by the grains of sand in the Vrindavana's pasturing ground, the gopis were pained and began to cry. The gopis wanted to keep Krishna at home always, and in this way their minds were absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Such pure Krishna consciousness can arise only in Vrindavana. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to explain his own mind, which was shorted in the ecstasy of the gopis. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so now this is This is the mood of the gopis. I just want to share something. Just posted this in. Is all of you are in Jagannath Mercy, no? I'll post there. I posted 3 pictures. I'll try to see if I can share it here.
These are these Maharaja's
Personal.
ladies. Yes.
Personal. Okay, so let me share this. So can you see? So these are personal deities of His Holiness Bhakti Tir Damodar Maharaj. Okay. So these deities are Radha and Krishna, but actually the names are Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar, and Lalita and Vishakha. Okay. Then look at this picture. So Maharaj has got Vrinda Devi. This blue is Vrinda Devi behind, left hand side. Okay. And the right hand side is one Shaligram. And you can see Jagannath is there. Then behind him is all Govardhan Shilas. Yeah, this is Govardhan Shila. Then look at the number of Shaligrama he has. He's got Sudarshan Shaligrama, he's got Vishnu, he's got Narsingha also.
What are these?
So many Shaligramas. These are also Shilas from Govardhan or any Punyakshetra or something. Yeah. Okay, so this is, and now he has his altar where Panchatattva, Damodar, and that altar. Okay, so now what Maharaj had done, you saw it?
Yes, Prabhu.
So what Maharaj had done, the room he was staying, in that room only he had put 2 big tables. And he had nicely organized the entire altar here. Entire altar he had organized. I was amazed to see this, saying that how is that Maharaj, such a altar, is this a personal? Yes, this is my personal. Every day I do arati to them. Every day I feed them, I take care of them. And wherever I go with them. I take them along with me. Even if I go to Vrindavan, I take them. If I go abroad also, I take them. Such a big altar, he carries them. So you see, he is not in the middle plane at all. Maharaj is always in his own, he's like his own Leela. He's in the completely transcendental plane. Imagine the level of consciousness that he must be going through. Not even a fraction of a second, nothing else than Krishna, like that is.
And then the other Sakhis are there in protects. You see that?
Yeah. So I was astonished to see, because many Maharajas come, but no one is like this, carrying such a large altar with them. What sort of consciousness he must be having and how he must be thinking Krishna all the time. I was just thinking. Now, if you read this, the gopis, how are they thinking about Krishna? See, here it says, when the lotus feet are pricked by grains of sand in the Vrindavan pasturing ground, the gopis are pained and began to cry. Whose feet? Not the gopis' feet, Krishna's feet. The gopis want to keep Krishna at home all the time. And in this way, their minds are absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Such pure Krishna consciousness can arise only in Vrindavan. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to explain his own mind, which was saturated in ecstasy of the gopis. Right? So when Mahaprabhu is singing, he is bringing out that pure devotion demonstrated by the gopis in his verses. And unless one is a pure devotee, they will not be able to really understand the meaning behind it. So that's why Swarup Damodar understands it. So he is exchanging gestures with Mahaprabhu. Right? So you can see how gopis or any pure devotee, the state of consciousness they are into. Their life, nothing else. They're not interested in eating. They're not interested in going out anywhere. Nothing else. All the time. 100% completely absent. So this is the best analogy I could think of, given various factors.
He was very, very humble, Prabhu, and he was answering everybody's question. Ekadasi day morning, I went to the temple to just meet him. And almost 10-15 people were around him. In the previous lectures, they were asking the questions. Very patiently answered all of us, Prabhu. Very nice.
The nice person.
Yes, sir.
So Maharaj, when he left, he wrote a note. Bhakti Dir Damodar Swami Maharaj, he wrote a note. What did he write? I am very encouraged by the devotees' eagerness to serve and to hear. So many devotees visited me daily, keeping me engaged in questions and answers. It is easier to become Krishna conscious here in this ICC temple. My gratitude to all the devotees. Dear Damodar Swami. That's a thank you note is written. And, amazing. Yeah. So as we move towards the fag end of our life, we should get out of this material activities and transactions. So when you get out of that, what do you do? This is what you do. So such great personalities are role modeling. How do you shape your last stages of your life? And we should take that. Not involve in material activities further and further. It will cause entanglement for us. What is entanglement? Whatever you've done now, you will continue to do that in the next birth. Krishna says, whatever state of mind that you quit this body, it's the same state, same situation, same thing that you achieve again. There's no doubt about it. And Krishna says, I guarantee you that. And Lord says, I guarantee you that. You think we have the courage to say, no, that won't happen to me? One day in Paris, Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture. He said that, if you don't become God conscious, if you don't become God conscious, you will become dog consciousness. You will become a dog and you will suffer in your life. Like that, he was giving a lecture. One of the attendees, he got up and said, dog is such a good animal, friendly, this, he was telling many things. So what if it is wrong? What is wrong if someone becomes dog consciousness? And Prabhupada tried to explain, we never listen. Then he said, I don't mind, if that is true, then I don't mind becoming a dog in the next birth. Prabhupada tried to explain him many times, he never listened. Then Prabhupada said, okay, tatastha. To that person in the audience. And the whole audience, they were like stunned by what Prabhupada said. So, you see, the reality. You see the reality of life. Okay, let's move forward. So I thought I'll explain with someone we see him in relation to the gopis. That's why I brought that example. Okay, 137. So can someone read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Hanyera Rudaya Mana Mora Mana Runda Mane Bane Heka Kare Jane Tahato Amara Pada Dvaya Karaha Yadi Udaya Tabe Tomara Purna Krupa Mani. Speaking in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, for most people, the mind and heart are one. But because my mind is never separated from Vrindavana, I consider my mind and Vrindavana to be one.
Left hand side top. Mother.
My mind is already Vrindavana, and since you like Vrindavana, will you please place your lotus feet there? I would deem that your full mercy. Perfect. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The mind's activities are thinking, feeling, and willing, by which the mind accepts materially favorable things and rejects the unfavorable. This is the consciousness of people in general. But when one's mind does not accept and reject, but simply becomes fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna, then one's mind becomes as good as Vrindavana. Wherever Krishna is, there is also her Srimati Radharani, the gopis, the cohort boys, and all the other inhabitants of Vrindavana. Thus, as soon as one fixes Krishna in his mind becomes identically with Vrindavana. In other words, when one's mind is completely free from all material desires and is engaged only in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one always lives in Vrindavana and nowhere else. Hare Krishna.
So he lives in Vrindavan, nowhere else means he may be anywhere in the world, but his mind is in Vrindavan. His mind is in Vrindavan, serving, thinking on the activities and pastime entourage of the Lord and Lord's associates. So physically may be present anywhere, but you can create the mood of Vrindavan in your house, in your heart, wherever it may be. Right? Now, currently what's happening to us, because there are lots of material transactions that we get involved into, our mind is busy processing those material activities. Because it's busy processing material activities, it does not have time to look at the Lord. Or it's not thinking about the Lord. So that's why you see Prabhupada's ideology of institutionalizing Varnashrama is, see, you all have to go through some sense gratification because you're a human being with senses. So you lead 25 years of Grihastha life. Finish all your enjoyment, whatever you want to do. And in the next 10 years or so, you start to prepare the mind towards spiritual absorption, not material absorption. So that preparation time is going to take quite a while because time immemorial we've been accumulating many such material transactions in our heart. So what are we going to do? How are we going to come over it, above it? So that is all preparation. And that once the preparation is done, which is your last part of your Grihastha life, one can go into the Vanaprastha life, where he does nothing else. You completely absorption. I'll give you an example. See, once I met this GR in one of the Tamil Nadu Divyadesam temple. I met him and then I was standing there next to him and then many people were coming and going. They're coming, offering him something, falling at his feet, they're going. In that, one person came with his family. Okay. When he came, he introduced himself to GR and told him, see, I met you that time, I did this, I did that, you know this, etc., etc. He told her. And GR was like thinking, oh, is it? Sorry, I'm not able to recollect you. I'm not able to recollect what you're saying. Then he said, see, this is my name. You also said my name is very good. You appreciate it. This is my name. He said, you remember my name. Then he thought for a minute or two and he said, no, I don't recollect, not even remember. So that incident happened. Then after some time we were coming out, and then that person who came to chair and spoke about his self-introduction, he was very upset about, I did so much for all these things and GR have forgotten. It's just a matter of 3-4 years and he forgot. When he came and told me, when we were standing together, me meaning the group, I was thinking, how can GR forget? When people do such good service, he should remember. How can he forget? I also thinking like that. But GR's assistant, he came, he said, no, that's not the way. We are having a lot of material transactions in our heart. So we'll remember all our people who are on the material plane. Material activities we'll remember. Material things, memories we will all have. But he doesn't think all of them. He's always thinking about the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. His activities. So any information which is on the material plane just comes and then just goes about his head. It doesn't stay with him. And hence they cannot remember you because he is in fully transcendental. When he said that, I was like, for a minute thinking, how is it possible? Is it true or it's something else? So that's how it is. So we have to go into that mode of absorption. When you do service, today what are we doing is we are doing service. In a mature consciousness, we are thinking, okay, I want to perfect my service. I want to do best for Krishna. Okay, that's good. But absorption of Krishna is not there yet in our service. And hence you see, a lot of our service comes with expectations. A lot of our service have a lot of flaws. And moreover, one small issue, there's a fight. There's a problem with the service. We are thinking diplomatic methods. We're thinking controlling methods. So, in this life, we have to find a method to transcend these consciousness. In front of Krishna, we are generating material consciousness. So, Prabhupada advises, it is important that devotees practice first peace of mind at home, at temple, wherever they are. If there is peace of mind, there is no anxiety and there is no agitation. When there is no anxiety and there is no agitation, he will be able to chant nicely and recollect the pastimes of the Lord again and again. For him, that consciousness of, okay, I'll depart this world, remembering Krishna is very easy. So we have to find a way to get to that state of consciousness. If not, we'll be entangled again. We may give 1,000 reasons, oh, my daughter, my son, my uncle, my aunt, I have to take care of them. Yeah, but all those things are material nature. They will pull us back into this material world. I was listening to one lecture today morning. In that lecture, this preacher is telling, Parikshit Maharaj is asking a question to Sukadeva Goswami. What is the question is asking? How does a jiva get entangled in this material world? I mean, under the Maya illusion. Because you just said, he is part and parcel of Krishna. And when Krishna descends, he descends in his fully transcendental spiritual form. When I am part and parcel of it, I should also come here in the same spiritual form. How is that I get entangled into this material world? So this is a question Parikshit is asking. This is in second canto, chapter 8. This question is asking. So Sukadeva Goswami is explaining. Now, you get certain dreams when you go to sleep. Right? Now, how do you generate a particular theme of a dream? Is that something that you heard, you desire to experience it, you wanted to see it, you wanted to enjoy it, or some connection that you want to have with that particular object or a thing or a person. Then a dream gets formulated around it and you experience the dream. Right? Now, is dream real? Dream is not real, but your experience is real. One is sleeping in the bed in his own house where there is nothing, but in the dream he may get a lion coming and chasing him. And he may have a lot of fear, and he may sweat, he may perspire, he may scream. All those things that material body will exhibit here. If someone wakes him up, he comes out of the dream. So that means even though dream is not real, the experience is real. So similarly, he says, well, a jiva is there in the spiritual world. He comes to hear about as knowledge, as the extended potency of Sandhini potency, the existential potency. He hears and say, okay, material world is like this, is like that. But he also hears that one who desires to enjoy without Krishna can go to the material world. Like how, for example, none of us have gone to jail, but we hear about the jail. Hey, the jail has so many rods. It has dirty bathrooms, bad food. There is like this, the life difficult. We hear all those things. But when we hear that one who commits a crime will have to go to jail, then we say we're not interested because anyway we don't commit crime. But a jiva who hears all these things about the material world, because Krishna's creation, Krishna's Leela, all those things, a completely fully realized soul doesn't desire to even think about it. But someone who says, okay, let me see what is it, then he dreams of his experience in the material world. When he dreams of his experience in the material world, which is nothing but interaction with the material activities, he gets encapsulated by the illusionary energy. And the illusionary energy brings the astral body of the soul, covering it with the material, gross material elements, and captures him in this material world. So you see, one side is activities, another side is absorption of the mind. The mind is the key. What are we getting exposed to? And the senses are the key. What are the senses getting engaged into? If the mind and senses getting engaged in the material activities, that means it is desiring that more often than non-material activities. And hence that becomes the need and the nature of our existence, life after life. So it's very important to understand this. So hence you have to meditate on the Chatursloki. Srimad Bhagavatam Chatursloki in the second canto, Sri Bhagavad Gita Chatursloki in the 10th chapter. We have to meditate on it. That meditation will tell us, oh, okay, this is the cause of my existence in this form. And this is the solution to get out of this. And this is how I practice. When we do this, we transcend this material world. So this involves deep thinking. It is not, okay, Prabhu, I will chant, okay. No, it's not about doing any of those things. It's about thinking what our Acharya is saying, what Bhagavatam is saying, and where do I stand and what I'm supposed to do. That's the key. The whole world, every living entity is running pole to pole, running. I don't know for what they're running. To enjoy this material world. So we should realize, and the best way of realization is satsanga. For example, when we see personality like Dhir Damodar Maharaj, hey, look at him, how simple he is, how humble he is, very educated, highly scholarly. But look at this. So what is he achieving? And what am I not able to achieve it? That's what will make our life.
Prabhu, can I
Yes,
ask a question, Prabhu?
Sure.
Prabhu, when you mentioned we want to perfect our work, but absorption is very less. When we are trying to perfect our work, we know that we are doing
Perfect our seva.
our seva. The seva is again directed towards Lord Krishna only, no, Prabhu. So all the time we are trying to think, like whatever we are doing the seva, we are thinking that we have to do it for Lord Krishna, and it is only Krishna, no, Prabhu, that particular moment at least. So but you're telling that there is no absorption there, no, Prabhu?
Yeah. Why? I'll tell you why there's absorption is very less. Why is that we are not able to master that art? You see, when service, how many of them are able to do that service in a very humble manner? They're all doing the service controlling others. They're doing the service for their own show off. They're doing the service for own gratification. And there's no absorption. That's why there's so many mistakes in the service. And desiring for end result. And that's why there are so many offenses in the service. Hence, they drag us away from reality. This is the problem.
Yes, sir.
If that was true, then there should not be any fights in ISKCON. And you see, so all services done to its perfection. But does it happen like that? It does not.
At the end, I want my name to be shown up there.
Yeah. Oh, let's say how many people are there today in this class today? Today, 18 people are there. Okay. Now, out of these 18 people, let's assume I glorified 17 of you. One person I didn't glorify for some reason. Just talk to that person's state of consciousness. It's going to be really miserable. That means the consciousness is still material in nature. What is material in nature? Material in nature means we saw all those prohibited things in action are being performed. That's why the mind is material in nature.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Is the bells ringing for others? What we discussed now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Really phenomenal, no? These things. Okay, so let's look at more. 130. I'll read this sloka 138. Okay. Prananata sunamora satya nivedana vrajamara sadana tahan tomara sangama na paile nahrahe jivana. My dear Lord, kindly hear my true submission. My home is Vrindavan, and I wish your association there. But if I do not get it, then it will be very difficult for me to keep my life. So which verse is this in Shikshashtakam?
Slishavan.
No, that is, okay, that's sort of, yes, sort of. It says, if I don't get your association, then what's the point in having this life? I better die. If I don't get your mercy, what's the point of having this body? I better even 1 minute of association I don't get. Once then it's like separation for years and years, and then I'm in tears. Let's look at the purport. Only when the mind is free from designations can one desire the association of Supreme Person God. Exactly what we discussed now. The mind must have some occupation. If a person is to be free of material things, his mind cannot be vacant. There must be subject matters of thinking, feeling, and willing, because that's the nature of mind. The mind is so much computationally powerful, and you cannot tell the mind don't do anything. So that's the point at which these Mayavadis fail. They forcibly control their senses. They forcibly control their mind not to do it. But look at what Prabhupada is saying. He says, the mind must have some occupation. You must give some work for the mind. The nature of the mind is what? The feelings, thinking, willingness, all these things. So unless one's mind is filled with thoughts of Krishna, feelings for Krishna and desire to serve Krishna, the mind will be filled with material activities. Those who have given up all material activities and have ceased thinking of them should always retain the ambition to think Krishna. So he's saying, if you have an opportunity to retire, retire. Without Krishna, one cannot live, just as a person cannot live without some enjoyment for his mind. And that's the key there. Whatever we discussed for the last 15 minutes, this purport summarizes. Not here, see? Can another person read this purport again?
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Read.
Purport. Only when the mind is free from designations can one desire the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mind must have some occupation. If a person is to be free of material things, his mind cannot be vacant. There must be subject matters for thinking, feeling, and willing. Unless one's mind is filled with thoughts of Krishna, feelings for Krishna, and desire to serve Krishna, the mind will be filled with material activities. Those who have given up all material activities and have ceased thinking of them should always retain the ambition to think of Krishna. Without Krishna, one cannot live, just as a person cannot live without some enjoyment for his mind. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the mind needs enjoyment. Now, feed the enjoyment of Krishna rather than feed the enjoyment of material activity.
Material things.
That's the point. Very brilliant, no? How Mahaprabhu is explaining it. Okay, let's read the next one. 130. This is also brilliant.
Prabhu, I'll read, Prabhu.
Okay, read Mataji.
Purve Uddhava Dware Ebe Sakshat Amare Yoga Gnane Kahila Upaya Tumi Vidangda Krishna Vidagda, okay. Tumi Vidagda Krupa Maya Janaha Amara Hrudaya More Aiche Kahitena Yuyaya. Translation. My dear Krishna, formerly when you were staying in Mathura, you sent Uddhava to teach me speculative knowledge and mystic yoga. Now you yourself are speaking the same thing, but my mind does not accept it. There is no place in my mind for Gnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Although you know me very well, you are still instructing me in Gnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. It is not right for you to do so. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
This is Radharani is telling Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is telling Jagannath. That's a song he's singing towards Jagannath. Okay, purport.
The process of mystic yoga, the speculative method for searching out of supreme absolute truth, does not appeal to one who is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. A devotee is not at all interested in speculative activities. Instead of cultivating speculative knowledge or practicing mystic yoga, a devotee should worship the deity in the temple and continuously engage in the Lord's service. Temple deity worship is realized by the devotees to be the same as direct service to the Lord. The deity is known as the Acha Vigraha or Acha Avatara, an incarnation of the Supreme Lord in the form of a material manifestation, that is brass, stone, or wood. Ultimately, there is no difference between Krishna, manifest in matter, of Krishna, manifest in spirit, because both are his energies. For Krishna, there is no distinction between matter and spirit. His manifestation in material form, therefore, he is as good as his original form. Sachit Ananda Vigraha, a devotee constantly engaged in deity worship according to the rules and regulations laid down in the Shastras and given by the spiritual master, realizes gradually and that he is in direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he loses all interest in so-called meditation, yoga practice, and mental speculation. Hare Krishna.
Speculation. Okay, so we'll break this down into multiple parts. Okay, he's talking about process of mystic yoga. Okay, what is mystic yoga? Speculative method. What is speculative method? Will Lord be here? Will Lord be in that form? Or will Lord be black? Will Lord be white? Will Lord be this, that? Or the person is Lord, or light is Lord, or mountain is Lord. So they keep on speculating, how can that be true? Okay. So you see, such speculation doesn't come in the hearts of a devotee. That's why he takes an example. See, I'm Radharani, you're telling me practice Dhyana Yoga, you're practicing Jnana Yoga, you're telling me practicing Karma Yoga. Why should I practice? I can't practice all those things. It's difficult. For me, it's only pure Bhakti Yoga. So that's the comment Radharani is telling Jagannath. Right? So now what does this comment mean to us? It means to us is, you should cultivate knowledge, but the cultivation of knowledge should be under study of a guru. Now why? Because if you don't study under guru, you'll speculate on that knowledge as to what is the conclusion. But if you study under a guru, you will conclude that knowledge that you've earned is nothing but the end state is Krishna. That is the difference. So without guru, one becomes a Mayavadi, or one becomes just a Jnanavadi. But with the bona fide guru, he straight away concludes his position as a devotee or a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? Now, in Jnana Yoga, there is a Sankhya philosophy. Now, in Sankhya philosophy, there is one aspect of Sankhya philosophy that is nothing but a pure science, analyzing each and everything in this material world. What is it? What is not? What is it? What is not? Laboratory experiments. So if they go to a temple, they see the Vigraha of the Lord, they may say, okay, is this stone? Oh, it is Udbhava Murti. Udbhava means that someone must have sculptured it and kept it deep in the soil, and then it came out. So that's how they keep on concluding. They will never conclude that it is the mercy of the Lord manifested in a form that is conducive for my worship. Because I cannot see the transcendental state of Bhagavan. So hence I see, in a form which is identified by the gross senses. So technically what? I'm learning the practice or the importance of or the details of Bhakti Yoga, which means I'm connecting to Krishna, whether I connect through a photo frame or a stone or directly Bhagavan, I'm connecting, and that's my consciousness. That's what Krishna Prabhupada is saying. So hence he doesn't care. Oh Lord, until I become transcendental, I will indirectly worship you. That means what? Instead of worshipping Bhagavan, his lotus feet, I am worshipping Bhagavan's paraphernalia or Bhagavan's energy in the form of a Vigraha, through which I'm still touching Bhagavan. So this is advancement of a devotee, which cannot be seen by others. So hence Radharani is now telling, don't push me to practice lower form of yoga, Jagannath. I am already in a pure devotion state. So he is explaining to Jagannath. Yeah. Is this clear? Is this perfect clear?
Yes, yes, but
And he's also accusing Krishna of his action. Oh, you sent Uddhava. And what did Uddhava do? He talked about mystic yoga and other aspects of knowledge. This is nonsense. How can he send someone to make someone in higher plane to practice a lower plane of yoga? So he's accusing Krishna also. No. Yes, Saraswati Mata, you had a question.
No, Prabhu, I didn't know that Uddhava taught speculative knowledge and mystic yoga. Prabhu, I didn't.
Oh, you should read the pastime. What actually Uddhava did.
Okay, Prabhu.
See, Krishna said he'll come back, but he didn't come back to Vrindavan. But there were constant requests through various methods that Krishna, please come back. But Krishna was in a mission now. See, his Paritranaya Sadhana is completed by the age of 11-12, where he nourished the devotees. Now, yada yada hi dharmasya, he has to complete that mission, clean up the system. So now, he is not in that mood, that's why he is not returning to Vrindavan. So what Krishna did, he said, hey Uddhava, you are such a confidential friend of mine. You're also my cousin. Why don't you go on behalf of me? And tell the gopis that one day I'll come. Ask them to be patient, tolerant, etc., etc. Uddhava did not understand the position of gopis. What did Uddhava do? He went and said, hey, if you're not able to control your mind, I think you should practice dhyana yoga. If you're not able to do your sadhana and other practices, no, you should practice Ashtanga yoga so that you'll get mind control. He went like that. So Radharani is taking Krishna for task now. How can you do this? How do you know that I'm in this state of consciousness? How can you teach me lower forms of yoga?
Yes, Prabhu, I understood.
Huh? So how is that, mother? We say, no, let's say our children got angry. They scream, hey, sit in the side, pakla kuchoni koncha meditate cheyi, take nice breathe in, just relax, maybe think, do some dhyan, do some chanting. Itla kada meer cheptaru.
Yes,
okay. So Uddhava went and thought it was similar consciousness, and that's where he's getting hit now.
Yes, Prabhu. Nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions? Okay, so let's go to the next one now. 140. Who's going to do it? Yes,
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Prabhu, ikkada atma anatma telugulo anatma ani icchinadi bhautika tattvam ana ardhama Prabhu?
Ikkada anatma ante cheptunaru?
Ikkada English lo vachi matter and spirit ani undi kada Prabhu. అది ఆత్మ అనాత్మకు ఆత్మకు భేదం లేదు అనేసి ఇచ్చిండారు ఇక్కడ అంటే కృష్ణ విషయంలో అది ఎట్లా అర్థం
ఓకే అట్లా ఏమంటే సో మ్యాటర్ స్పిరిట్ ఈ రెండు దానికి ఏం వ్యత్యాసము ఇప్పుడు చూడండి మ్యాటర్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మన ఇంట్లో చూస్తున్నాం కదా ఇప్పుడు చైర్ టేబుల్ వుడ్ గ్లాసు ఇవన్నీ మ్యాటర్ ఇప్పుడు స్పిరిచువల్ అంటే ఏమి భక్తుళ్ళు దేవుడిని గురించిన ఐటమ్స్ లైక్ భాగవతము బుక్ గా ఉంటే కూడా అది స్పిరిచువల్ అట్లా కరెక్టా ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళేం చెప్తారంటే ఇది మ్యాటర్ ఇది స్పిరిచువల్ అంటారు బట్ రెండు కృష్ణుడిది కనుక వచ్చేది
అవును ప్రభు
ఇప్పుడు సృష్టి చేసేటప్పుడు మెటీరియల్ కానీ స్పిరిచువల్ కానీ కృష్ణుడే కదా సృష్టి చేసేది అప్పుడు అది ఎట్లా మ్యాటర్ అంటారు మాట అప్పుడు దానికి చెప్తున్నారు అది మ్యాటర్ అంటే మనం అర్థం చేసుకునే దాంట్లో మ్యాటరు ఇప్పుడు దాన్ని మనం కృష్ణుడి కోసం ఉపయోగం చేస్తే అది స్పిరిచువల్ అవుతుంది మన కోసం దాన్ని ఉపయోగిస్తే మ్యాటర్ అవుతుంది
ఓకే ప్రభు అర్థమైంది ప్రభు
బట్ ఇప్పుడు అర్చ విగ్రహం తీసుకుంటామా అంటే ఒక మెటల్లో విగ్రహం ఉంటుంది ఇప్పుడు ఆ విగ్రహాన్ని మనం ఒక షో పీస్ డాల్ లాగా ఇంట్లో పెట్టుకోవచ్చు కదా
అవును ప్రభు
కృష్ణుడు రాధాకృష్ణుడిదే ఒక షో పీస్ డాల్ లాగా ఇంట్లో పెట్టండి దాన్ని మొక్కోదండి పూజ చేయదండి దాన్ని గురించి తెలియదండి. అప్పుడు అది కృష్ణుడి రూపంలో రాధారాణి రూపంలో ఉంటే కూడా అది ఒక డాల్ అయిపోతుంది కదా.
అవును ప్రభు.
అది మ్యాటర్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు అదే డాల్ని మీరు తీసుకొని వచ్చి మీ తోడ ఆల్టర్లో పెట్టుకొని డైలీ వర్షిప్ స్టార్ట్ చేయండి. అప్పుడు ఇట్లా పెట్టింటే డాలు, ఇట్లా పెడితే అర్చ విగ్రహం. అర్థమైందా? సో ఇప్పుడు కృష్ణుడికి చూస్తుంటే వాళ్ళు మ్యాటర్లో వస్తారు, స్పిరిచువల్స్ అంటే వ్యత్యాసం ఏమీ లేదు. మనం దాన్ని ఎట్లా యూజ్ చేస్తాం, దాన్ని ఏం తెలుసుకుంటామో దాంట్లో వ్యత్యాసం. లేదంటే రెండు వ్యత్యాసం లేదు అని చెప్తారు శాస్త్రం. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా?
అర్థమైంది ప్రభు, అర్థమైంది.
ఓకే, వెరీ గుడ్.
అంటే మనం చూసే భావం,
మనం చూసే భావము అయితే ఇప్పుడు పరమాత్ముడు వాడు వచ్చినప్పుడు వాడు క్రీటాలన్నీ వేసుకొని డ్రెస్సులన్నీ వేసుకొని మనలాగానే మనుషులాగానే చేస్తాడు. అప్పుడు మనమే అనుకుంటాం వాడును ఒక వ్యక్తుడు
మనిషి
అంట. బట్ కృష్ణుడికి రెండు ఒకటే, అది మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవట్లేదు అనేది పాయింట్. అర్థమైందా మధ్యది?
అర్థమైంది.
మనం మన తల్లికి పుడతాము, కృష్ణుడు తల్లికి పుట్టాడు. మనం పెరిగినాం, ఇప్పుడు కృష్ణుడు పెరిగాడు. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, ద్వైతం అచ్యుతం అనాది అనంత రూపం ఆద్యం పురాణం పురుషం నవ యవ్వనం చ. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇట్లా పాడతాం, దీన్ని ఏం అర్థము? ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, బృందావనంలో up to the age of 12, Krishna was in Vrindavan. He grew from a small toddler, he grew to adult. Okay, then the Shastra explains that బ్యూటీ, స్కిన్ ఇది ఎట్లా ఉండిందో అంటే 13-14 years లో, కృష్ణుడు ఉండింది 125 years. ఈవెన్ ఇన్ ద 125th year కృష్ణ వాస్ ఓన్లీ యూత్. అంటే వాళ్ళకి మనవుడు మనవరాళ్ళు అందరూ వచ్చేస్తున్నారు, బట్ స్టిల్ హి వాస్ లైక్ 14 year youth. దేర్ ఇస్ నో వ్యత్యాసం. It's okay. నాకు తెలుసు, ఏం ప్రాబ్లం. ఓకే మాతాజీ, అర్థమైందా?
అర్థమైంది ప్రభు.
సో అది అలాగే. ఓకే, సో లార్డ్ కి ఏజ్ ఇవన్నీ ఏమి లేదు, బట్ అదేలాగా మా మ్యాటర్ మనం ఎట్లా ఉపయోగిస్తామో దాని ప్రకారం అది. సో రెండు దానికి వ్యత్యాసం లేదని పాయింట్. ఓకే, 140 చదువుతాం. Someone read 140.
Text 140. चित्त कादि तो माहैते विषये चाहि लागेता यांत करी नारी कारी बारे तारे ज्ञान शिष्य करहा लोका हासन मारा.
This is a Bhagavad Gita tune.
चित्त कादि तोमा हैते विषय चाहि लागैते यातना करी नारी कारी दारे सारे ज्ञान शिक्षाकारः लोकहासन मारा स्थान ना सारा विचारे. Caitanya Mahaprabhu continued, I would like to withdraw my consciousness from you and engage within material activities. But even though I try, I cannot do so. I am naturally inclined to you only. Your instructions for me to meditate on you are therefore simply ludicrous. In this way, you are killing me. It is not very good for you to think of me as a candidate for your instructions. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11, Anya Bilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anamritam Anukulyena Krishnana Shilanam Bhakti Ruttama. For a pure devotee, there is no scope for indulgence in mystic yoga practice
or the cultivation of speculative philosophy. It is indeed impossible for a pure devotee to engage his mind in such unwanted activities. Even if a pure devotee wanted to, his mind would not allow him to do so. That is the characteristic of a pure devotee. He is transcendental to all fruitive activity, speculative philosophy, and mystic yoga meditation. The gopis therefore express themselves as follows. Hare Krishna.
So they're saying that they are always in a pure transcendental state. We don't speculate our knowledge because that's not the nature of pure devotees. The simply ludicrous means like sarcasm, ridiculing me. So why are you simply making fun of me? So like that, they're saying this. Okay,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
So all
ma'am.
this is reply to what Uddhava had told them before, Prabhu.
No,
this
he's
like a
taking that as an example. Now, Chaitanya Prabhu now is telling Jagannath, because Jagannath is Krishna and Chaitanya Prabhu is Srimati Radharani.
Yes,
The
Prabhu.
mood she is telling Krishna, you know, what happened in that separation?
Yes.
What happened in that separation? And how you acted during that separation. So she is accusing Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಗಲೂ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳು ಕಾಲ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸರ್.
Okay, so 141. Can someone read?
Krishna, text 13.141. Nahe gopi yogeshwara pada kamala kumara dhyana kari vaive santosha.
Omara Vyakya Paripati
Tara madhya kutinati tuni gopi
Kutinati.
Tuni gopira arobade rosha. The gopis are not like the mystic yogis. They will never be satisfied simply by meditating on your lotus feet and imitating the so-called yogis. Teaching the gopis about meditation is another kind of duplicity. When they are instructed to undergo mystic yoga practice, they are not at all satisfied. On the contrary, they became more and more angry with you. Purpose. Srila Prabodhananda Chantramrita 5. Kaivalyam Naras Kayate.
I will read. Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridasapur Akasha Pushpayate Durdantendriya Kala Sharpa Patali Proktahata Dharamstrayate Vishwam Purna Sukayate Vidhi Mahendra Vischa Kitayate Yad Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavavatam Tam Gauram Evastamaha. For a pure devotee.
For a pure devotee who has realized Krishna consciousness through Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the monastic philosophy by which one becomes one with the Supreme appears hellish. The mystic yoga practice by which the mind is controlled and the senses are subjugated also appears ludicrous to a pure devotee. The devotee's mind and senses are already engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. In this way, the poisonous effects of sensory activities are removed. If one mind is always engaged in the service of the Lord, there is no possibility that one will think, feel, or act materially. Similarly, the fruitive workers attempt to attain to the heavenly planet is nothing more than a
Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria is like dreaming.
For a devotee, after all, the heavenly planets are material, and in due course of time, they will all be dissolved. Devotees do not care for such temporary change. They engage in transcendental devotional activities because they desire elevation to the spiritual world, where they can live eternally and peacefully, and with full knowledge of Krishna. In Vrindavana, the gopis, the cowherd boys, and even the cows, trees, and water are fully consciousness of Krishna. They are never satisfied with anything but Krishna. Hari Bol.
Krishna. Okay. So anyone wants to comment on this purport?
Prabhu, this is like that exercise we did yoga, no Prabhu. So here, we did that exercise, that assignment yoga, no Prabhu. Differences between mystic yoga and bhakti yoga. So when they come, what they do, first purify their senses and mind, and then slowly they come to samadhi. But in bhakti yoga, we are already in samadhi from the beginning, Prabhu. Always thinking about the Lord. Like that I feel, Prabhu.
In a pure devotion state, not in an impure, not in a Mishra Bhakti. Mishra Bhakti is bhakti which is mixed with many kinds of bhakti.
Yes, Prabhu.
So they are now telling, we are not interested to merge with you in Brahma Jyoti. He says, Kaivalyam Narakayate. That's the most hellish way to do. I'm not interested. So that means here Mahaprabhu, as highlighting these various points, don't practice any of these yoga system, don't practice impersonal, don't practice these things, mystic yoga. They're all hellish kinds of life. There's no point in doing all of them. Straight away, what you need is how gopis got attracted to Krishna and then fell in love and served him. That is the best way that you can do. So Mahaprabhu is trying to take this as an example and educate all the living entities. Anyone else comments on this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, that means the pure devotees are so completely absorbed in bhakti that they don't want any of these processes. They want to just serve the Lord.
Yeah. So in a pure devotional state, they want to serve the Lord and the Lord wants to serve them back. Okay, so that's a pure devotion.
Thank you.
Lord does not want to serve. That means they have not reached pure devotion. They have reached devotion, but not pure devotion.
Prabhu, what is the meaning of this, Prabhu? After all, the heavenly planets are material, and in due course of time, they will all be dissolved. Heavenly planets are material, Prabhu?
Yeah. Anything in the material world is material now. Up to Brahmaloka is all material now. The only planet that is not material in this creation of this material world is Durvaloka, because even though the entire this one get annihilated, Durvaloka remains. So that is not material nature. Second, the ocean, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the place where he lives, that is not material. Otherwise, everything is material. Everything will be created, maintained, and annihilated at the time of destruction.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I wanted to know where Kshirodakshaya Vishnu lives, Prabhu. In the text, it is given halo of universe. So what is the halo of the universe, Prabhu?
Where does it say halo of the universe?
In one, I think one of the Nityam Bhagavata Sevya they read, not in this, Prabhu, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is given that that place is in halo of the universe. I didn't understand that, Prabhu.
There's an island called Shweta Deep.
Yes, Prabhu, that is in the halo of the universe, like that it is written, Prabhu.
I've never read this word halo of the universe. I don't know where does it exist. So the Shweta Deep is outside of this 14 planetary systems. Okay, so how? So now every anda is what is creation from the body of Mahavishnu. Okay. So the anda means it's shape of a egg. That's why when the earth rotates around the sun, revolves around the sun, you see you have a latitude and longitude. I mean, you have a shorter cycle and a longer cycle, right? That's how you get summer and winter, right? When the orbit is such that when you move farther away from the sun, you get winter. When you move closer to the sun, you get summer, something like that, right? So because of the shape of the anda, you get such an orbit, elliptical orbits. Now, this anda, half of that anda ball is filled with Garbha ocean. Okay, the perspiration of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So he's having Balram or Adishesh, who has coiled himself to form a bed, and below that there are a lot of expansions of Balram in form of a Chandani potency that create the structure to hold Balram floating on the water. On this bed is where Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying down. Okay, so that means in an anda, half the ball is filled with water now. Okay, now the next half is empty. So in that empty anda, ether formation happens. And once ether is formed, then Brahmaji creates this 14 planetary system, which is called Martya Lokas. So upper planetary system, which is called in general Swarga Lokas, the earthly planetary system, and the lower planetary system, which is the Patala Lokas in generic. So now this Shvetadipa is beyond this 14 stack of planetary system. They're not part of this 14 planetary system. Okay. Where does the planets of demigods live? For example, Chandra has his own planet. Varuna has his own planet. Where do they exist? They exist somewhere in the plane of Janaloka and Mahaloka, which is one below the Brahmaloka. Right? So it means Varuna Devata has his house there, and from there he's controlling the entire 14 stacks of planets. Okay. So now, in this outer space, which is empty, the Shvetadipa stands outside of this 14 planetary system. That's why from the material world, Shvetadipa is not visible. So, Purusha Shukta prayers, what does it say? I offer my prayers to you, Lord. Now, how are they offering their prayers? They're offering their prayers to the casual ocean on which the island of Shvetadipa is floating. They can't see, but the exchange of heart, that means the Lord sitting as Paramatma can reveal, that alone can happen. So this is how the structure is.
And the Dhruva planet, where is it, Prabhu?
So Dhruva planet, so how does it exist? So now this 14 planets are stacked one below the other, right? You have topmost is Brahmaloka. If you read 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll understand all these things. You have Brahmaloka. Then you have the other 13 planetary system, one below the other, fully coming down. Up to Patala Loka, the last Yamaloka, then Pitraloka. That's the last dark planet. There's no sunlight that enters. The sun rotates in the top 7 planetary system only. The sun orbits. The sun also rotates. Sun also revolves. The earth also revolves. Okay, they're like 2 balls revolving each other in an 8 format. Okay, where are they revolving? See, revolving means going around. Rotation means to spin around. Okay, sun is also revolving. That's why, when you say Ratha Shabdami, what are you saying, Ratha Shabdami? The sun god is now sitting on his chariot and going to go around. When we say Uttarayanam, Dakshinayam, what does it mean? Sun going to the northern and southern? That means sun is also moving, earth is also. That's the point to understand. Okay. Now these 14 are actually in a straight line. Okay. You should imagine how, I take a string now. I put one ball, one below the other in the string. That means the top of the string, I have one ball. Then I give some 3-4 centimeters gap. Then I put one more ball. Like that, I keep on putting. That means if we put 14 balls into a string, that's exactly a representation of our planetary system. Now, how this revolution rotation happens? This, you hold the string on one top. That means you will see these 14 balls, one below the other. Now you make it to dance, just like a pendulum clock. The pendulum clock has got a pivot, no? So around the pivot, it moves, and the pendulum moves tick-tock, 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 right? From the left and rightmost, leftmost, rightmost. So this pivot point, which the string is held, and this entire 14 planetary system is moving left to right like a clock pendulum, that pivot point is your Dhruvaloka. Are you able to imagine from my explanation?
Yes, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu.
Have you seen a pendulum clock?
Yes, Prabhu.
Pendulum clock has got a pivot.
Yes,
Then it's got an arm,
correct.
and there's a ball in below, right?
Correct.
Now, instead of, imagine now that arm is extending so long, instead of one ball, there are 14 balls.
Okay.
Now you sway the pendulum, full left move to right move. So it swings, no? So you see all the 14 planets, they swing to the left and the right like that. And that pivot is Dhruvaloka.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for making us understand.
Okay, so now you got where is what position? Hello?
It's above Brahmaloka, no, Prabhu?
Which one?
Dhruva planet.
Yeah, Brahmaloka is still part of the 14, no?
Yes,
Above
yes.
the 14, the
Above
string
that is
extends.
Dhruva planet. Yes, Prabhu. Understood.
Brahmaloka is material only, no, Prabhu?
Which one?
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka is material. Brahma dies, no?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Brahma dies, even Brahmaloka, birth, death, old age, disease exists, so it's material. We also get that kind of body when we go to Brahmaloka. Of course, out of all the lokas, the purest, the most goodness form of the loka is Brahmaloka. Right? Very conducive to practice devotion. But after going there also we don't practice, then we have problems.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Yamaloka and Pitruloka, the lowest Prabhu.
There's the dark planets. The dark planets. That's why it's not good to worship your Pitrus. Worship your Guru, not your Pitrus. If you worship your Pitrus, you go to the Pitruloka. And where do the Pitruloka stand? Below the Yamaloka. Dangerous. That's why you see most of the devotees, they don't not have a picture of their father, mother, grandfather, great-grandfather, nothing. They don't worship them, they don't do anything. They will do only Pindadan. Why? Inviting the mercy of the Lord on them so that they can get into the path of devotion. Otherwise, they don't do anything else. Clear? That's why they don't eat the remnants offered to the Pitrus. Oh, devotees. The lots of details are there like this.
Prabhu, this Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, we can easily make out the movement of the sun from north to south and south to north.
Up and down, yeah.
But it always disturbs me because this moon location, it's very, very difficult. One day I see him on the east, one day I see him on the west, one day, somewhere he appears. He's not I'm not able to spot him regularly in one constant, like how we see the sun rises in the east, we say, and in this particular...
also rise in the east only.
But did you observe?
Moon also always rises in the east only.
But we can't, every day we can't see him in the same place.
That is because your earth is not stationary. The earth is rotating.
Okay.
Which means today you might have seen him 35 degrees left-hand side of you. Tomorrow you may see at 45 degrees right-hand side of you because you have technically rotated.
Okay, okay. The earth is rotating.
While the earth is rotating, the moon is also revolving around the earth. Because of these two combinations, you don't get that continuous pattern like your sun.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Every day I will see. One day suddenly, yesterday I would have seen on the western side. The next day I see him suddenly on the eastern side.
So we are all descendant of Surya Vamsham. Okay. A lot of these religious guys, they are descendants of Chandra Vamsham.
Okay.
But every day we see sun rising in the same place.
Yes, yes, correct. That's what I'm saying. Difference between sun and moon.
Prabhu, now
Prabhu,
Uttarayana.
sorry much.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, the different stars you can consider as a different planets, Prabhu.
Solar system.
Solar system, okay.
One anda, you say, no? One anda has what? One Garbhodaksha Vishnu, half filled with Garbha ocean. The second half is, that upper half is filled with 14 stacks of planetary system and one sun. One sun is one eye of Vishnu. Okay. That one sun will illuminate the entire anda. Clear? So when you see 1,000 stars on the sky, you're seeing 1,000 andas, 1,000 solar system.
Yes, sometimes visible, Prabhu, sometimes not visible in the.
That is because of the movement of ether and many other factors.
And also sometimes one star is falling down very fast. We see that kind of thing.
That is shooting star. That is not a solar system.
Oh, okay.
Shooting star is a comet. Comet, see what happens when an object moves in space at a greater speed, because of friction, sometimes it catches fire. It becomes hot.
Okay.
So it's like a burning object moving in space at a great speed. And that's called a shooting star. It burns and then it escapes like that.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhu.
I think I should take physics and space class for all of you.
Yes,
Prabhu, we are all blessed to be under you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for guiding.
I'm joblessly reading so many things.
We don't find time to read our regular home.
Okay, yes. One last question we are done for today. Yeah.
Uttarayana for 6 months and Dakshinayana 6 months, they say, no, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yes.
So now Dakshinayana starts, Prabhu, now?
So Uttarayana started when? Around Shankranti time, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So 6 months over means when July 15th kinds you will get over. Okay. And mostly how do you understand Uttarayana is more or less you will see start of Chaturmasya. Because Chaturmasya happens only in Dakshinayana.
Okay.
August 3rd, Prabhu.
Huh?
August 3rd is reaching, Prabhu, south, north side.
No. Now, this year you should not calculate because this year is Adhika Masa. So all dates will get jumbled up. In a non-Adhika Masa year, you see around July only, you will see this one starts, which is technically start of Dakshinayana.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
So it is not connected with to Ashada Ekadashi like that, no problem. No.
See, Ashada is what, Mataji? You have, this cusp, no? Cusp.
Yes.
So, for example, you know that there's zodiac signs.
Yes, Prabhu.
The zodiac sign, let's say someone is having Leo. Now, the general month for Leo is 19th of the month it will start and end it on 19th of next month. Okay. But 2 days before, 2 days after. 2 days before, 2 days after is cusp. Cusp means Leo is coming down and Sagittarius is going up.
Yes.
Sagittarius month is starting up. So that means there's a crossover time. Like how you have sun and moon, Mataji, dusk time we have now. In the dusk time, you see sun is there but not there. Moon is there but not there. That is dusk. So it's called crossover time or cusp. So this Ashada Masa that you all practice is nothing but the crossover time of Dakshinayana and Uttarayana. Around that time. So because it's crossover time, you cannot have proper calculations of Shastras. Okay. Because you cannot have proper calculation of Shastras, people say, okay, I don't want to do any good events, good activities. I don't know whether it will reach the Devatas for them to benedict me. I don't know. So like that, they avoid the cusp time. That's why Uttara, this Ashada Masa, they say husband and wife should stay away. They should not do any good material activities. So they say all these things. But for spiritual, nothing stops. You just go on doing it non-stop. That's the understanding.
Thank
I don't know if there is more understanding to this, which I have to also learn. But to my small understanding, this is what it is.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, one small thing, Prabhu. In this last paragraph which we read, the one sentence, devotees do not care for such temporary things, no, Prabhu. That has lot of insights, Prabhu.
Temporary things are material things. Puja, labha, pratishta. That is position, activities, and profit. Right? So all these things should not be the root cause for we doing something. We should do because Shastra has told. We should do because it pleasures the Lord. We should do because it satisfies the Guru. And don't expect anything. Whatever we are destined, Krishna will benedict us. That is correct consciousness. So devotee will never pray to the Lord. Do you know that?
Yes.
Pray meaning not our prayers, not the glorification prayers. Will not pray to the Lord that Lord protect me, Lord take care of me, Lord do this, Lord do this. Nothing he will do. At any point in time in life.
But still he's there in the temporary world, but his only aim is, his only goal is devotion to the Lord, and that is why he is able to live eternally and peacefully with full knowledge of Krishna, Prabhu.
That's all. That's all. He's contented, he lives happily. And Lord, because he's contented, he just gives everything to him because he will never misuse it. The Lord will give position to a devotee. The Lord will give opulence to a devotee. Lord will give fame to a devotee. Even though he gives all these things, he will never misuse them. He will still use them back in service of the Lord. That's why the Lord is confident to give them.
Yes, Prabhu. Correct, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, there was one small story about this, Prabhu.
Ah.
One mother and the child, they go to a shop. They buy the things. The shopkeeper will tell the son to take a chocolate. He says no. Again, he insists to take. He says no. Then the mother says, why take a chocolate? She still says no. Then the shopkeeper, he will take a handful of chocolates and give him. So they come back. Then the mother will ask, why did you not? I told you to take. Why did you not take? Then he tells the mother, see, when I take, it'll be one or two. But when he gives, it'll be hands full. It's like that, Prabhu.
Like how Krishna benedicts his devotees.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay, good example.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna,
so yes, Mas.
you explained earlier that this whole material world is a dreamland-like thing, Prabhu.
I heard this lecture, so I shared that. But explanation also like that about this dream conception is there in the second canto of Bhagavatam.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we will end the association here today, and tomorrow morning we'll see you all at 6 o'clock. We'll continue discussing Canto 1 of Bhagavatam. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.